You know me, I don't like being behind that thing. I wrote some notes, but it's okay. We have several topics, obviously, for the month like we usually do. And I'm probably going to touch on all of them, but one of them is coming from the heart. And based on what's been going on in our life recently, that seems like probably the best topic. Have you ever bought a new car or even a used one? This is what happens to me. And all of a sudden you start seeing that model of car everywhere. And you didn't notice them before? Anybody experience? I'm actually getting heads nodding. That's good, yeah. Well, the same thing happened to us. And some of you were here the day that we announced that Rick was going to have open heart surgery. And I noticed that day that we must have said, open your heart 20 times. Betty's already said it this morning. I kept hearing that over and over and over again. And I mentioned it when I shared with you that Rick was going to have this heart valve repair surgery, which happened on May 12th. It went magnificently, obviously. He's here playing flute. He's back to work. Everything is great. But I want to talk to you about some of that experience because I think this is where the meat is. That same morning, we were sitting in those exact seats, and I kept catching this open your heart, and I got kind of one of those aha moments. And we were in the car on the way home, and I said, Rick, we both mentioned that we kept hearing this, and I said, what does that mean to you? And we started talking about what the phrase, open your heart, or in this case, coming from your heart, what does that mean? Somebody tell me, what does that mean to you? Jenny, to open your heart, what does that mean? To embrace and love. Anybody else?
I'm still alive.
I'm still alive! There you go, Pearl.
To come from your core.
To come from your core. That's a good one. Well, I started asking Rick what that meant to him, and he came up with some things, and I said, isn't this an awesome opportunity that a surgeon is actually going to go in? And he had to physically open Rick's heart to get to these cords that operate the valve to replace them. Someone is going to physically open your heart. And this will be an opportunity for you to spiritually and emotionally have your heart completely open. Now, we know that the heart is a muscle, and we're talking about different things, but I have to tell you, a little bit for Rick, but a lot for me, it shifted some of that fear into a new perspective. He admitted that he was still very, very nervous, as I'm sure each of us would be. But I started sleeping at night. And I know it was only a few nights before he had that surgery, but I slept easier knowing that that's what was happening, it was a spiritual and emotional opening. That's the key. We all go through things. Is anybody not going through something? Not a single person raised their hand. Everybody has some kind of block in their life or some kind of hurdle you're trying to get over. There's something that's bothering you. There's something that isn't exactly perfect. Because if it were perfect, I hate to tell you this, you'd be gone. You'd be one of those stars. We're all still here learning, and if we can learn to shift the thought process, to shift from the fear and allow, another topic, the light within us to come forth. Because if we're in fear, if we're in worry, if we're in complaining, we're not allowing this light to come out. We're covering that light with something that isn't real. Open your heart, come from your heart, and allow the light within you to be shared with everyone in your sphere of influence. Thank you.